So I went to my husband and I asked for a list of things that he wished he knew when he became a new dad, particularly on how he could be most helpful to his wife. He delivered. I am not making this video because we got it all figured out. Instead, it's more like a list of things that we wish we had known when we became new parents. As a mom of two myself, I know the tension and the pressure you both are facing in this new transition. This video is going to give you the essential perspectives to understand each other better and be able to work together as a team in unity, because this is a season where it's very easy to work against each other in division. Moms, I got you. Let this video take the pressure off of you to have to explain it all. First thing is, don't take your wife's emotional fluctuations personally unless you actually messed up. I wonder how he knew that. After giving birth, your wife is very hormonal, and I know everyone uses that word, but what does that actually mean? First of all, estrogen and progesterone drop drastically. By drastically, I don't mean just like a 20 to 30% drop, but I'm talking about a 90 to 95% drop. And both of these are feel-good hormones. So these two hormones dropping really causes fluctuation in a woman's emotion. Other hormones that play into all these fluctuations are cortisol, prolactin, oxytocin, all of which are changing drastically in a very, very short amount of time. Your wife's body and mind is going through a lot. If you've never heard of the word matrescence, it is a word to describe the transformative process of a woman's brain as she becomes a mother through pregnancy, delivery, and postpartum. The woman's brain during that period of time is highly elastic, so it means it's very capable of being molded into this nurturing figure that she needs to be in order to love and care for her baby. That is the way that God made us, and it makes a lot of sense. However, it does come with all these hormones, because hormones are essentially just chemicals in our bodies that tell us what we should think, what we should do. She really needs a lot of your understanding and support during this period of time by at least not taking her emotional fluctuation personally. Tell her she's beautiful. She is probably frustrated with some part of the recovery and that her body won't work the way she wants it to for a while. A lot of women struggle with this. If you don't at least tell her one time a day, she will probably forget. Please remind her that she is beautiful and that her body has done a lot. It's a whole package of understanding how much your body is capable of, but at the same time being frustrated and disappointed that it is not the way it used to be. It's real. She'll probably never fit in the jeans that she loves so much, and she might always have some pelvic floor issues. She can't go on a run without peeing herself. Or like me, I still have some lingering swelling from giving birth. Even after a whole year, I still couldn't wear my rings. It's just a huge sacrifice, a huge toll that it takes on a woman's body to give birth. And please remind her, and this applies to beyond just postpartum, that you really appreciate the sacrifice she makes to bring lives into this world. If you ever find your wife saying words like, oh, I need to lose this baby weight, this is your reminder to go all in on praising her. I think as a society, we put a lot of pressure on a woman to go back to normal, even in terms of physical appearances after giving birth. Encourage her to take it easy, encourage her to slow down, don't rush into, running 5 miles a day after giving birth. And if after the initial period of time she wants to get out of the door, she wants to be able to exercise and go to physical therapy for her pelvic floor, encourage her to do so and offer to take the baby or the older kids as well, so that she is able to do those things. I think it's very helpful for the dad to go to the mom and ask for a list of hands-on, no guesswork, repeatable default tasks. And in my friend's words, rather than hopelessly trying to mind read, make it as automated as possible so that you don't have to think about what to do. The principle is to figure out what are some of the things that not only she can do, and you take initiative in those things. Something that my husband did really, really well the second time postpartum was making sure I always have my water bottle filled up and I always have snacks, because breastfeeding thirst and hunger are real. I was eating at least 2 times the amount of food I would have been eating if I wasn't nursing. Whenever you can, do a scan around the house for any dirty bottles or pump parts that could be hand washed. See if there's any load of laundry that you can rotate. These are all trivial things that your wife is probably very on top of on a normal day, but not during postpartum. And I cannot begin to tell you the excitement that it gives me to find a whole rack of clean pump parts, or Or I'll go downstairs and eat a meal only to come upstairs and find cleanly folded laundry resting on my bedside. Guys, that screams I love you to your wife more than a lot of things can. Basically, ask your wife for a list of things that she believes you can help her with, and you just go through that list religiously many times a day. If you tend to forget, set some alarms. And depending on your wife's personality, she might really like it if you occasionally just go up to her and ask, is there anything else I can do for you? Or some women might like it if you just leave them alone and just stick with the automated tasks. Encourage your wife to eat, sleep, and exercise when she can. She will always have another to-do in mind and may need a firm but kind voice to encourage her to stop and take care of herself. Your wife would constantly have a to-do list, and that list is not gonna run dry anytime soon. And her priority is always about the baby. The last thing on her mind is to take care of herself. But we all know if she takes care of herself, she's taking care of all of you. So if you really want to be helpful, make sure she's drinking enough water, eating enough food, and getting enough of the normal things that most of the human beings thrive on. Yes, please remember she's human too. Even the hormones that we just talked about are not really letting her prioritize herself. Those are all about prioritizing the caretaking of this little baby. Speaking of taking care of ourselves, I love the fact that my husband brought this point up. Offer to take the baby every now and then so your wife can do normal people things, like shopping, going to the spa, hanging out with a friend. And another friend also added that if you have older kids, then offer to take the kids so that she can just focus on the baby. Trust me, if your wife is filled up, happy wife, happy life. I remember the first few pedicures I went to do after giving birth was such a treat. Just the fact that I could go do something for myself or someone else massages my feet, and the fact that I could just turn off from these responsibilities is amazing. Encourage her to go out of the house, because the problem with staying in the house is that she will still have those to-do lists and she can't not see the things that need to be done. That's a gift that women have, but also kind of a curse in this time when she needs to rest. Work with people in your community to get help with groceries, meals, chores, etc. so you and your wife can rest. In this postpartum series, I have talked extensively about the importance of community. Nothing quite taught us about the importance of community until we've given birth. Both my husband and I are very independent, self-sufficient kind of people. We pride ourselves in not needing people's help, but after giving birth, all of that went out of the window. We need help and we need community. A great way you can invite help from friends and family is to have them help with meal trays, set up a meal tray, send that link to different people, or put it on baby registry so that people know this is a way they can support you guys. Whether that's homemade meals or just gift card for takeouts, honestly, everything helps. The less meal you have to cook, the more you can focus on taking care of the baby as well as your wife. We've also had friends that went out far enough to get Asian groceries for us. It is important that you, as the husband, be the main point of contact so that if your wife and the baby are sleeping, you can make sure they keep sleeping. A lot of times people are quite understanding of the boundaries. Some of my friends would just drop off the meal and go. They don't expect to see us or the baby. And I am very grateful for that. But if you have friends that you know might not understand the boundaries, you should be the one that is politely enforcing the boundaries and being your wife's advocate. It's natural for the husband to feel some emotional distance from your partner after a new baby arrives because your wife is totally consumed with keeping the baby alive, anticipating the baby's needs in an hour, day, month, year, and figuring out new rhythms of life. Make sure you as a partner have a good support network. Friends, church, community, therapists, etc. to lean on. You might not be able to spend physical time with your support network for a while because of a new baby's responsibility, but even a quick phone call to ask for encouragement, to vent, laugh can really put wind in your sails. I know before you had a baby, your wife is probably one of your best friends, someone that makes you feel safe and accessible to communicate frequently with, but in this very short but intense phase, she might not be so available. In fact, apart from baby duties, she's probably already so overwhelmed and consumed by her own emotions that she doesn't really have any margins for your emotions. But that doesn't mean you don't have emotions. New dads go through a lot too. That's a huge transition for the dad, and you need your friends and community to be a support system to you as well. It's important to not write off your feelings, but at the same time, try to put less emotional burden on your wife, whatever that support system looks like for you, and even just having a very good routine of exercise and getting out of the door occasionally to get get some fresh air is really going to help you reset so that you can be a better support to your wife and your family in this transition. And I know a lot of men bond through physical intimacy, but in this time when she just needs to rest and recover for at least 6 weeks or until whenever the OB clears her to be able to have sexual intimacy again, until then, it's probably really hard for the guys to bond with their wife. But just keep in mind, everything is just a phase. And I talk about this in my other videos as well. Always remember, especially in the first year of a baby's life, it's always just a phase. Everything comes and goes so intensely, and the first few weeks are gonna fly by before you know it. Last but not least, my husband wrote, acknowledging your wife is not the same person anymore, and learn how to love the new person. This is a concept we have learned from The Meaning of Marriage by Tim Keller, which is basically you think you're marrying one person, but you're actually marrying very many different future versions of the same person. And honestly, pregnancy and childbirth is such a huge transition for your wife. She probably has different things she wants to do for rest, fun, romance. Asking, do you still find something restful, fun, romantic? Will be a very helpful question for the next few months. This is really sweet. This part is not going to be easy for a new dad because you are in some ways losing your best friend the way you knew her, and you now have to love a new best friend. It's true, back in the days, my top love languages are completely different from what it is now. Acts of service was probably number 4 on my list of love languages before I had a child. And then after I had a child, acts of service straight up became my number 1 love language. If you want to tell me you love me, give me a hand. And the other side of the coin of this point is that you also need to give grace to your wife because she is wrestling with this new person that she is becoming. She is probably beating herself up a lot. And so give her some space and grace to figure that out. And in time, she will accept the new normal and she will be able to find more routines and meanings in what she does. It is good for you to set that expectation so that you don't expect her to bounce back to a normal because you guys are both progressing towards a new normal. And that's a wrap for this video. And in case you didn't know, this video is part of the postpartum series, including things like physical recovery or mental health. So if you find this video helpful, please be sure to check out the other ones in the series as well. I wish your marriage is thriving, and just bear in mind that this is a season that needs a lot of grace for yourself as well as your spouse. Whatever you're going through, it is just a phase, and I believe you guys are able to figure it out and move forward in unity. Before you leave, please be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!